All right, congratulations, you have sold your house and all the contracts have been signed. Usually between signing the contract and the actual date of transfer, there is usually between 2 to 4 months time. And in this time period, as a seller, you have some responsibilities. You need to make sure that you deliver the house in the same condition as the day that your buyer closed the deal. So if any problems occur in this period, you are responsible to repair them and make sure the problems will not get bigger. Well, if you do so, then we reach the transfer day. On this day, usually 1 or 2 hours before actually going to the notary, there will be the final inspection. And in this inspection, the buyer can inspect the property and see whether it's empty and there is no tenants living in the house. We would always strongly advise you to make sure that the house is really nice and clean and that you have given the garden some attention as well. Of course, it's a gray area, what is clean, but trust me, if the house is dirty when the house is delivered, the chances of getting into trouble after the deal gets bigger. For certain, a buyer will make a problem of any inconvenience about the house. So please make sure it is empty and clean. So when we go to notary, you usually go to the office of the notary, and the notary part consists of 3 different stages. First of all, the notary will go through the financials with the seller only. The buyer is not present because they have nothing to do with the personal financial situation of the seller. After this part, then there's the part where the actual house will be transferred. Usually it will only take maybe 10 minutes. The third part of the transfer is the part where the buyer is talking about his finances with the notary, which is usually arranging a mortgage. Keep in mind that if you are international buyer, if you are international seller, it is obliged to have a translator at the notary. Usually this is in English, but the most important thing is that everybody at the table understands what is being said. So if, for instance, both the buyer and the seller are from India, you can have an Indian translator as well. That is no problem at all. Finally, when the deal is done and anything occurs later for a problem or a question, you can always call your agent for some well-deserved aftercare. Any questions left, just call your agent.